Salads have come such a long way.
They're great for roughage, antioxidants, chock full of nutrients, and they don't have to be boring.
Something that we want to eat all the time and not just think about as a side dish.
What's your ultimate favorite go-to dressing?
What I do with almost every single dressing is I do just a bloop.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified about our latest videos. This is going to be a fun one today. Greta Podleski is here and joining me to talk about her new book, Every Salad Ever. And this is totally our jam. I know this because we both showed up matching, and I love matching.
We did not talk about this.
It's a whole vibe. We're all about good vibes around here. People are trying to lose weight, yes, but they're trying to reconnect with food in a whole new way where they can enjoy all the yummy bites and bits that life has to offer. And we're all about our leafy greens around here. And you actually have a whole leafy green section in the book. We're all about good, nutrient-rich foods. In fact, I flipped the book open, and this is a must get, people. Like, this book is it's an experience flipping through it. And I saw this quote from you here that said, "The days of boring iceberg with glugs of Catalina are long gone. Welcome to a new era of salads. You're going to love it here." I love it.
It's so
hi,
true.
welcome.
It's so true. Salads have come such a long way from, a few decades ago. When you think about it, like, I grew up in a house with 5 sisters. And when my mom made salad, it was a chopped up iceberg lettuce with maybe like a couple tomato wedges and a couple like little shreds of grated carrot and maybe the glugs of Catalina or bottled ranch, or there was no arugula. There was no balsamic vinaigrette, homemade dressings. And I just feel like salads can be I hate to use the word gourmet because gourmet sounds so chefy and intimidating, and that's not what I or my recipes are about. But they've just leveled up so much to be something that we want to eat all the time and not just think about as a side dish.
We want to enjoy them. There's nothing like a good, delicious, yummy, flavorful salad. I noticed in your book here, you have your chapter 2 is on greens galore. Fresh and flavorful leafy greens. You are speaking our language. In fact, you flip to the first page and it's got a variety of all the different leafy greens. Some of them are not actually red, like green, like radicchio. Obviously, it's red.
Yeah.
But leafy greens are so important part of, a healthy, balanced diet. They're great for roughage, antioxidants, chock full of nutrients and whatnot. And they don't have to be boring. I want to talk about how I was first introduced to you many years back when I was working on breakfast television. It was a local morning show, and we're talking way back. And I think you and your sister came on and you had your book, Looneyspoons.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, this book is brilliant. It's not just a cookbook. There was like great tips and tidbits. Where did you come up with the idea to do a cookbook differently?
I think, being a bit of a health nut, and my sister Janet at the time too, we went to the bookstore and we looked at all the books at the time that were about healthy eating or nutrition. And they were all very similar, written by doctors, dietitians, very clinical, a little bit dry. And so we just always like to have fun. I think we both have a good sense of humor. And we're like, why can't we just take the topic of healthy eating and make it fun and interesting and something that people will want to do, not feel like they have to do, by writing a book that sort of welcomes people in and maybe makes them laugh their way to good health? Because we had a lot of stupid food puns and corny jokes and recipe titles like Jurassic Pork and Celine Dijon chicken. And we just did things in a really unusual way. But Gina, it's a funny story about that. When we sent that book in that format, our sample pages to the publishers, we got rejected by all of them. And they said to us, don't quit your day jobs, which was too late. We already did. But they thought food and humor didn't go together. And what are your credentials anyway? Are you chefs? Do you run restaurants? We were rejected by everybody. And we ended up taking the national bestseller list at the time out of the newspaper, cutting it out with scissors, using liquid paper, because this was 1995. And we whited out the name at the top. And we typed in with a typewriter, Looneyspoons by Janet and Greta Podleski. And we used to stare at that every day and just believe that to be true. And it was ahead of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus, all those books at the time. And we put that on our little tiny bulletin board in our tiny basement office in Ottawa, Ontario. And we just said, let's prove them all wrong. They're
Yeah.
wrong. We were getting great feedback from people around us. And we thought the experts don't always know.
Yeah.
And we believed it was like the Kevin Costner Field of Dreams movie. If you build it, they will come. We're like, we just have to keep going no matter what. And, we persevered. We self-published. At the time, we didn't even know what that meant, figured it out. And that book sold. It broke Canadian publishing records for like the
I
fastest
believe it.
sold in history or something in Canada for the number of copies that it sold. And really, that was so long. That book is so outdated now. Like, honestly, when I see it, I cringe. I'm like, oh, I mean, compared to what I do now. But that book fit the story of the time of two sisters working out of their basement. We just love food and nutrition and we're passionate. And so the book really fit. But that's what changed my life. That book changed my life. And I think it changed a lot of people's lives, to be honest with you, because they started cooking healthfully and liking it.
I've always been saying to people, because when it comes to weight loss, everyone thinks salads. And I'm like,
Right.
don't just throw some lettuce with a hunk of chicken and some cucumbers and some tomatoes on there. And so you're speaking our language. And why salads? Why specifically salads?
Well, my first 5 books were multi-purpose. So every category, every chapter you can think of. And that was great. I loved doing that. I love that format of a book where you get something of everything. Yum and Yummer is like that. But for
Yeah.
book number 6, which I swore I would never write, by the way, because it's so much work. After each one, I'm like, I'm never writing another book. And then before you know it, I always say, like, people say it takes you so long between books to write them. And I said, well, the process that I go through is I needed to come from within me. I can't write a book to write a book. I can't write a book just to make money and sell books. I can't write a book to
Yeah.
just have a book at the bookstore. For me, it's an expression of something that's inside me that has to come out. And so when I get the inspiration to write a book, I swear to God, it's like I get a download. It's like one day I'll just get all this download of inspiration into me, and then it has to come out. And
Yeah.
this time I felt I wanted to focus on one subject. And knowing that women are my primary audience, let's face it, like I think it's 90% of cookbooks are purchased by women. Women love salad. Women get together and talk about salad. Men don't get together and talk about salad. When you talk to women about going out for lunch, what do they say? Let's just go somewhere where I can get that big salad with all the stuff in it, like a really good salad. Or like, imagine men
Yes.
doing that. Hey guys, where do you want to go? Somewhere to get a really big salad? Like, no,
Yeah.
that's not happening. So I
Yeah.
thought it was a great subject. Plus, I'm a salad fanatic, and I knew that I could teach people how to take salads from like meh to marvelous, and get using simple ingredients. Though I only shop at my one little local grocery store. If they don't have the ingredients, it's not in the books. You don't have to go to the gourmet store, the health food shop.
Love
Everything's
that.
at your local grocery store. It's about
Love that.
combinations and flavors. And so then I loved the focus of it. And even coming up with interesting dressings. Then, I ate salad all day, every day for 10 months straight last year. And I didn't gain an ounce, because people say things to me like, well, what about all the fat in the olive oil? Or what
Yes.
about all the fat in the salmon or the avocados? Or, well, I don't know. Like, it worked for me. I think our bodies crave the good fats. And so
Yes.
I really focused on not necessarily low fat salads, but healthy fat salads, so that you're nourishing your body, not just putting something in your stomach. So it's just about balancing those things. But I don't pay attention to numbers the way I used to. And to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people do. They are more focused on the quality of the food they're eating and the nourishment they're getting for their body. And that's kind of my way forward. I think if I ever write another book, don't let me, by the way. But if I ever write another book, that's always going to be my focus, because I really feel like it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Well, and you've lost weight before, and you've sort of been around during the evolution of the diet industry.
I have. I weigh 25 pounds less now than I did in
Mm.
my 20s.
Yeah.
So I just turned 59. Oh my God. So I'll go into hiding next year at this time when I have the big, big birthday. But I'm in better shape now than I was then. Way better
Yeah.
shape. And people, people always say to me, how are you so thin and fit when you're always cooking? And I say to
Yeah.
them, I'm thin and fit because I'm always cooking,
Always cooking.
because I'm not eating out of packages, boxes, and bags. I'm eating fresh, delicious food. Doesn't have to be complicated, but I really try to cut back. So that's what happened to me when I was in my mid-20s. I did not like the way I looked. Somebody made a comment about me. You know how sometimes that's it. It's a little trigger. It's a picture that you see of yourself where you're like, is
Yes.
that really what I look like?
Yeah.
And so I just took matters into my own hands, or I jokingly say I took platters into my own hands. And I decided no more of that junk food. I'm just going to start preparing. I'm a good cook. I always was a good cook. My mom taught me, but I got lazy in my 20s. You're partying, you're getting your first job, you're not paying attention to your health because you think you're invincible. But I started preparing my own food. And then I lost the weight without even dieting, without even thinking about it, because I was putting better food in my body. And I
Oh,
ended up over time losing 25 pounds, and I've never gained it back. Now it's harder now as you get to my age.
yeah.
But you just have to make some changes overall. I mean, fitness is really important, and to keep your body moving, and strength training is something that literally changed my life and my body.
What's your ultimate favorite go-to dressing? And what's the base of it?
Olive oil. So I'm gonna make this up on the fly.
Okay.
I'm making this up on the fly, but I'll give you the
Okay.
variations. So I would do like about a third of a cup of good olive oil. Then I usually do about a, 3 tablespoons of some type of vinegar. Balsamic, white balsamic, or apple cider vinegar are my 3 favorites. Then I would probably put 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I love adding lemon juice. Lemon juice is so good for you. And I put it in my salad dressings. So now you'll notice I have a balance of fat and vinegar that's actually kind of pretty close. And most salad dressings are like 3/4 oil, 1/4 cup vinegar. And to me,
Yes.
that's a very oil slick, oily dressing. I'm not afraid of the fat. It's just I don't like the feel of all that greasiness. So I do a little bit different ratio than most people. Then I would add a teaspoon or 2 of Dijon mustard. I would add salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of minced garlic if you like garlic. If not, leave it out. Salt and pepper, of course. And then what I do with almost every single dressing is I do just a bloop, like just a little bloop of honey or maple syrup, because I put more acid in it. And so it's not to sweeten the dressing, it's to balance the tanginess of that vinegar and the lemon juice. Shake that in a mason jar, whirl it in a small blender, use a whisk, pour that on everything. For me, it's figure out how to make a salad dressing you love and just keep making it. Have the oil, have the vinegar handy, keep it in the fridge in a mason jar, you can shake it. And it might motivate you to make more salads, but it doesn't have to be complicated or really expensive, because there's a lot of more economical options too.
Thanks for joining us today. You can also follow Greta at Yum and Yummer on Instagram for her shares, lifestyle tips, and whatnot. If you want to keep up to where she's at and what she's doing, although she will be back with
I
us.
will be
Already looking
back.
forward to that. You'll be back. You'll be
I'll be
back. Start the car. Head to
back.
Indigo. Get your copy of Every Salad Ever. Greta, thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you,
great
Gina.
rest
That
of your
was
day.
great. The time flew by.